Hey everyone, I'm Dan Kennedy coming to you from the 11Alive streaming center. It's been another busy week across Georgia. Let's get you caught up with 11Alive news this week. A DeKalb County police officer facing felony charges after investigators say that he accidentally shot and killed a 19-year-old while taking him into custody this week. 11Alive's Chase Howe has more on this investigation and the charges moving forward.
The family of Seth Eccles says they're asking for space right now, but tells me off camera that what happened to Seth wasn't just unacceptable, but reckless. And now his alleged killer is back at home instead of spending the night in jail. Now, former DeKalb County police officer Derek Harris on the other side of justice after allegedly shooting and killing a 19-year-old. According to arrest warrants, Harris, quote, accidentally fired his weapon while putting handcuffs on the man with one hand while holding his gun in the other.
As a police officer, you are dealing with the task of a person's freedom and also their life.
Mike Pugliese has his own law practice and is also a certified police officer. In the warrants, it says Eccles was complying with Harris's commands and was on the ground with his hands behind his back, at which point Pugliese says Harris should have put his gun away.
At that point, there was no threat. At that point, the threat level was zero. It's over with. So the gun should have been safely reholstered, the perpetrator handcuffed, taken into custody, and we would not be here today talking about this incident.
24 hours after the shooting, Harris had a warrant out for his arrest. Pugliese says that's telling within itself from a police department's point of view.
At this point, they're thinking more of civil liability. Hey, this is not our protocol. We do not have a policy where you shoot unarmed perpetrators lying on the ground with their hands behind their back and cuffed.
Harris's total bond amount? A little over $11,000. But keep in mind, you typically only have to pay 10% of your bond to get out of jail. So in this case, $1,100.
The bond itself doesn't frighten me. That doesn't alarm me. It means nothing. The idea is, will he be back in court to answer these charges?
According to jail records, Harris has been released on bond. We also asked both GBI and the DeKalb County Police Department for his body-worn camera footage, and we're waiting to hear back. Outside the DeKalb County Jail, Chase Howell, 11Alive News.
A man is in custody accused of killing his wife and shooting his son in Cobb County. Neighbors tell 11Alive that son ran from the scene after being shot. 11Alive's Ariana Manise has this story.
Cobb County investigators were at this home behind me for hours last night, piecing together exactly what happened. Police say officers responded to this home on Laurel Creek Trail just before 8 p.m. after receiving reports of a person shot. When they arrived, they found a man outside the home suffering from a gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital. Officers then went inside the home, and that's where they found a woman that was fatally shot. Police say a man was taken into custody. Investigators say the shooting stemmed from a domestic violence incident. We spoke to a neighbor who was on the scene last night, and they tell us that the man first shot his wife and then shot his son, and his son was able to escape to a nearby home to call for help. We're still waiting to confirm that information with Cobb County Police. We're also still waiting for police to release the identity and the relationship of those involved, and if any possible charges are coming down for the man that was taken into custody. Reporting from Cobb County, I'm Ariana Manise for 11Alive.
5 people are recovering after 2 suspects who were allegedly running from police crashed into a MARTA bus. 11Alive's Cody Alcorn has the very latest on this investigation.
I wasn't even paying attention.
Tuesday afternoon in northwest Atlanta.
Next thing I know, I look to the front of the bus. The car just tumbling toward the bus and crashed to the front of the bus, cracking the windshield.
Witnesses say APD was pursuing 2 suspects inside this Kia Soul you see flipped upside down in front of a MARTA bus along Etheridge Drive.
I looked up, the car was rolling.
Passengers recalling the moment the suspect hit their bus.
Everybody started this jerk. And then this thing I know, a boy climbed out the car trying to run away.
One passenger had just gotten on the bus.
He just picked me up around Hot Town Road. So the police is chasing the boy. They said they just robbed somebody.
Witnesses say both suspects took off on foot. This guy was caught seconds later and given a ride to headquarters where he'll be booked. Cody Alcorn, 11Alive News.
A local business owner is trying to recover after Atlanta police say some criminals smashed a rental truck into his store to steal some merchandise. It happened at Identity ATL in the Castleberry Hill neighborhood. 11Alive's Gilat Malamed shows us some of the damage that owner now dealing with.
Atlanta police say the suspects crashed a U-Haul into this building, then went inside to steal multiple items. The owner of Identity ATL saw the thieves on camera from his home early this morning.
I've always been into clothes since I was like 14.
Owning a high-end streetwear store is a dream for Atlanta native Rob Thomas after graduating Clemson.
I had a couple interviews with Google, Qualcomm and stuff like that, and I got to the 4th interview on both of them, and then I didn't get it. So I just dove all the way into what I like to do, which was sell clothes.
Wednesday morning, he says he received a security system alert and watched as thieves stole clothing and bags after ramming through his store.
I looked at the cameras, they were in there doing whatever, they were taking whatever they wanted.
Atlanta police say officers responded to Walker Street in the Castleberry Hill neighborhood shortly before 5 a.m. Investigators believe 3 masked men repeatedly rammed the U-Haul into the building, stole multiple items, then drove off in a white pickup truck.
I was dang, it's a part of the game.
Thomas says with what he sells,
I kind of knew a day would come, somebody at least try.
There's been similar issues in recent years, like when thieves crashed into an East Point boutique in November 2023 to steal thousands in merchandise. Nearly a year later, thieves rammed an SUV into a Buckhead high-end street store to steal clothes. Identity ATL hasn't even been open a year, but Thomas says the community is already showing him support.
This is a popular street. People just ride by. They show and they support. They see me outside, ride, bro, salute, dude. I got so many texts on my phone right now and calls.
APD has not released any pictures of possible suspects yet. They say investigators are checking nearby surveillance cameras as the investigation continues. In Atlanta, Gilat Malamed, 11Alive News.
More news after this. You're watching 11Alive News this week. Several people are recovering this weekend after severe weather hit Six Flags, causing trees and limbs to fall right near the park's entrance. 11Alive's Grace King has the reaction from a witness and the response from Six Flags.
Jacob Heron's night at Six Flags Over Georgia ended with a hectic scene.
There were several ambulances, several fire trucks already there when I got there. Tons of the downed limbs were breaking fences and things like that.
After strong storms moved through the area, Six Flags says a tree fell near the park's entrance, striking 4 guests as they were leaving. All 4 were taken to a nearby hospital to get checked out.
The first person was sitting upright and they were tending to them. They were clearly conscious, but did look like they were in pain. And then I kept walking, and the second huddle of people were around someone that was getting put on a stretcher.
Heron captured video throughout the park of fallen tree limbs and flooding.
Water 6 to 7 inches deep in certain parts of the park, close to the front, people were wading through the water, ankle or even calf deep.
He said they shut down the rides as soon as the weather started, but it turned dangerous quick.
It was about 7 o'clock when it just started raining, and by 7:05 it was torrential. Everyone seemed very caught off guard by it, for sure.
Grace King, 11Alive News.
Atlanta leaders are asking Fulton County for hundreds of millions of dollars to lay the foundation for expanded health care in underserved communities. 11Alive's race, culture, and religion reporter Danielle Nottingham explains what this investment could mean for Atlanta and beyond.
In a partnership with the Morehouse School of Medicine, the funding would help develop and expand hospital, emergency, and trauma care services. City Council is asking Fulton County to commit $200 million. The investment is designed to address long-standing health care gaps in Metro Atlanta. Supporters say hospital closures and service reductions have left portions of Southwest Atlanta as health care deserts, forcing many West Side and South Fulton residents to travel farther for emergency and specialty care. This is a clip from last week's City Finance Executive Committee voting to move the proposal forward.
I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Martin.
Vote is closed. 4 yeas, 0 nays. The item is favorable.
The funding would help support an $8 million plan called Project Robin that would create a Level 2 trauma center to address health disparities. Morehouse School of Medicine released a statement to 11Alive saying in part, Morehouse School of Medicine and Atrium Health look forward to working with city and county officials and civic leaders to bring this project to life and help bring a new standard of care for Atlanta and Fulton County residents.
City leaders say this investment will do more than just expand healthcare services. It could also train the next generation of physicians and other healthcare workers. In downtown Atlanta, Danielle Nottingham, 11Alive News.
The future of North Point Mall still up for debate in Alpharetta, from a proposed NHL arena to new homes. The plan, it's going to be big. 11Alive's Angelina Salcido brings us the latest.
So could you explain why you need the buildings that high?
How much of this is going to be borne cost-wise by the Alpharetta taxpayer?
If there is no hockey team, help me understand how this is even feasible.
Those questions set the tone as developers return to Alpharetta for their second community meeting, trying to convince neighbors their vision for North Point Mall is about more than just hockey,
but bringing it back in a more relevant way.
Developers say the goal isn't just to replace a mall, it's to create a community hub. One they say people could visit any day of the week, whether there's a hockey game or not.
So it takes a little bit of imagination right now, but if this vision comes through, everything that you see behind me could be turned into a walkable entertainment district. We're talking about shops, hotels, housing, and if the NHL comes to Atlanta, a 20,000-seat arena at its center.
But even after seeing these renderings, some residents still wanted to know whether the project depends on landing an NHL franchise.
There's no guarantee that hockey comes to the site or that hockey comes to Atlanta. The NHL league office has been vocal publicly about its interest to bring the NHL back to this market.
Developers say even if hockey doesn't happen, they believe the mixed-use development can still stand on its own.
This is a great site. I think it's fair to say that if hockey doesn't work out here, there's still a great project that can be delivered. Anchor project means that the mixed use is reliant on the arena to be successful. That is not a good formula. It's been tried in the past. It hasn't gone very well. We think about it as adjacent. And what that means is that the mixed use stands on its own 2 feet.
Angelina Salcido, 11Alive News.
A series of commercial burglaries in Lawrenceville has the attention of Gwinnett County Police and people who live there. Police say that young people continue breaking into Adventure Park that's under construction, and they're causing damage too. 11Alive's Marissa Sarback spoke with law enforcement.
Gwinnett police tell me 15 people, the majority teens and children, have been arrested in connection with break-ins at this urban air park location in Lawrenceville while it's been under construction. They say there have been 7 incidents with children going online and sharing social media videos encouraging others to participate.
TikTok after TikTok of kids and young adults illegally playing in this adventure park before it's even open for business.
This is an active construction site. So this poses a hazard, a health hazard to those that are attempting to enter, right? We don't want there to be any kind of medical outcries where someone gets hurt. We're always concerned about our community.
The agency says it's been going on for the last month with different visitors each break-in. The common denominator, handcuffs and charges.
What TikTok you saw from?
Those involved that have already been arrested are facing multiple charges, including burglary and criminal trespassing.
17, man, you face actual charges. You won't go to juvenile.
With a social media trend like this, others may take that message, whether it's for entertainment purposes or for fun. We want to discourage, whether that be those young adults, those adolescents, teens, even adults, not to go to other commercial businesses, particularly anywhere but in Gwinnett County, because this can have serious legal consequences.
Gwinnett police say there are still more people involved that have not yet been arrested or identified. They're working the case and say it's still an active investigation. Reporting in Lawrenceville, Marissa Sarback, 11Alive News.
Get ready for another round of weekend lane closures impacting your drive, but this one's a bit different. 11Alive traffic reporter Rachel Cox-Rosen explains everything you need to know.
Hey, Westside Atlanta, here we go again. The inner loop of 285 northbound, going to see some lane closures this weekend between Cascade Road and MLK Junior Drive. 2 right lanes will be blocked there on the inner loop, and the exit to MLK Junior Drive northbound will be closed off. This is all part of that concrete slab rehab and replacement project that they've been doing for months that has at times included full shutdowns of the interstate. Again, that's not happening this weekend, just the 2 right lanes northbound inner loop 285 between between Cascade and MLK. And to avoid that shutdown of that exit to MLK, you'll need to travel up the inner loop to the exit at Hollowell Parkway, get off there, and then get back on southbound to 285. From there, you can exit onto MLK. So make sure you're giving yourself plenty of time this weekend to navigate around this construction, these lane closures, and that exit closure.
We'll have more after this. You're watching 11 Alive News this week. The Georgia Aquarium is stepping up and getting ready to welcome 2 new beluga whales. It's all part of a whole rehabilitation effort after a marine park closed in Canada 2 years ago. 11 Alive's Savannah Levins has this story.
30 beluga whales were abandoned when Marine Land in Canada closed in 2024, and now we know 2 of them will be coming to the Georgia Aquarium. It's been reported that 20 whales and 19 belugas have died at that tourist attraction since 2019. This is video posted to Instagram from June 1st, 2025 by the nonprofit Tidebreakers. You can see those belugas and other sea life swimming in abandoned, dirty old tanks. Well, now they've been given clearance to be transported to aquariums across the United States. And the Georgia Aquarium says they've been in a bid for several months to help rescue some of these belugas, and they have been given clearance to bring 2 of them back to Georgia. The Georgia Aquarium's rehabilitation program is world renowned. If you've ever been there, you know just how much they care for these animals.
Well, as you might imagine, interest in soccer is surging right now thanks to the World Cup, and lots of kids are out on the field dreaming of becoming the next big star. A few years ago, we introduced you to one of those budding players, Starboy, who made headlines at only age 2. 11 Alive's Aisha Howard recently caught up with him and his family to see how they are celebrating the World Cup.
3 years ago, we introduced you to Metro Atlanta's tiny soccer sensation, Tobane Uchendu, also known as Starboy, a toddler whose footwork captured more than 2 million views on the 11 Alive YouTube page. Now, just weeks away from turning 5, he's growing up right alongside the world's biggest stage as the FIFA World Cup comes to Atlanta.
It's been an amazing journey since then. It has taken us around the world. Since we last met you, we've built stronger ties with Victor Osimhen. At the time I mentioned, he had just invited him to Italy, and he has become a better athlete and soccer player.
Since our first story, Starboy has traveled the world for soccer, picked up some brand partnerships, and is often recognized by fans asking for photos. On the field, he scored an incredible 41 goals in just 8 games during his youth soccer season.
Just as a mom, I see the love that he has for the game. A lot of people may think that we pressure him. We really don't. He wakes up in the morning, like my husband says, starts to train by himself. We barely have furniture in our house because he's kicking balls all over. Like, our house is like a stadium, literally.
That passion was on full display during his first ever FIFA World Cup matches here in Atlanta, where his parents say he couldn't wait to get on the field himself.
Hopefully one day we get to see him play in the same atmosphere. It's just so, heartwarming for me.
And when you ask Starboy his future, there's no hesitation.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A soccer player.
A soccer player. Who's your favorite soccer player?
Mbappe.
And new murals have been popping up across downtown Atlanta as our city welcomes thousands of World Cup visitors to the city. 11 Alive's Stephanie Chaynock introduces us to one local artist who jumped at the chance to leave his mark just steps from Centennial Olympic Park.
I've always been into art, I took all the art classes. It was the only thing in school I was actually good at. First we have Big Boy and Andre here, and they're kind of just hanging out, Atlanta legends. And one of my favorite little Easter eggs here is Andre's stacking creamer cups 3 high, and a reference to his nickname 3 Stacks.
Before painting murals like this one in downtown Atlanta for the World Cup, Nick Benson was once just a boy from Edmond Park that carried Godzilla everywhere he went, including Waffle House with his dad.
I wanted to show myself with a little Godzilla toy, and maybe me just sort of reassuring my younger self of hey, look, we're painting a big Waffle House mural. It's gonna be all right, kid. Scaling up a small drawing is one of the hardest parts of doing a mural. I'll do it all kinds of ways. Sometimes I'll just draw it up, sometimes a projector, but this one was the first time that I used a VR headset, actually.
3 weeks of mixing latex house paint, acrylic, and spray paint, Benson's mural now on display for the thousands waiting for a hot waffle, or Benson's order double hash browns.
Just get everything on there, and then that kind of covers all the bases you need from Waffle House.
As for getting a 5-star review from Big Boy and Andre 3000 on their dining experience.
Yeah, I saw an interview with Big Boy, and he was like, have you seen that Waffle House? They've got an Outcast mural over there, so at least he knows it exists, and I'd love to know if he likes it or not.
Believe it or not, we are now less than a month away from the start of school already across Metro Atlanta. And while summer break continues, Gwinnett County Public Schools working to keep students reading by taking the library on the road. Joe Ripley has this story.
For these kids, this bus can brighten even the rainiest of days. The wheels on this bus go round and round for reading.
Readers are leaders. And we know that literacy is very important, and reading is involved in every entity in the world.
Monica Brown is caring for her son and 2 nieces this summer. She relies on the Gwinnett County Bookmobile to prevent the summer slide and keep the kids' minds engaged.
It brings books to our neighborhood so that we can continue the literacy over the summer, so that we can combat the summer slide and continue on building the knowledge that they've learned their school year.
Tracy Costello says Gwinnett County Public Schools use a federal grant to support the Bookmobile, which started in 2017 with just 1 bus.
We know that they'll go back to school more prepared if they have been reading all summer.
The operation has since shifted into another gear, with 3 vehicles making 103 stops every week for the summer, delivering thousands of books.
Our main goal is to provide access to books throughout the summer. Transportation can be a barrier for some of our students. They can't get to a public library.
Each book building empathy and connection, and a way to bond.
The fact that we can share about what we're reading and recommend books to each other, it just builds, a beautiful community of readers.
Kids also get access to lunches and snacks with every Bookmobile visit.
The cost of food and the cost of gas and everything is rising. So this helps a little bit.
This Bookmobile, a balancing act in feeding both mind and body.
The Bookmobile doesn't just deliver books, it delivers opportunities.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching 11 Live News this week. I'm Dan Kennedy. More news on the way next.